If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. Well, here are some pictures you sent into our Eyewitness portal, and we begin with this one from Apapa in Lagos State, showing the scene of a fatal accident involving a tanker and a motorcycle. The motorcyclist was said to have died immediately. Our Eyewitness reporter is, however, appealing to sympathizers to make efforts to rescue victims of accidents rather than watching them die while taking pictures. Well, next is this photo from Agbaje, Shagamu in Ogun State, of a bad road, which our Eyewitness reporter says is making life difficult for residents. He is therefore calling on relevant authorities to fix the road to ease the pain residents go through. And this picture is from Etimekpo Crescent in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, showing a house that is in bad shape following the ugly erosion near it. Our Eyewitness reporter is appealing to the authorities to help them arrest the menace before the whole area is washed away. And finally, from Nanta, close in Woji Port Harcourt area, the River State capital, is this picture of a fallen electric cable. Our Eyewitness reporter says that no one has been electrocuted yet, but he's asking the relevant authorities to fix it before it becomes a death sentence. I want to thank you so much indeed for your pictures that you've sent in through our Eyewitness portal. Keep them coming. We appreciate them. In the meantime, though, the military's high command has said that it has nothing to hide with respect to the Amnesty International report, which had indicted some serving and former military officers of abuse of human rights in the Army's battle against insurgents in the northeast of the country. Well, speaking in Abuja, when senior officers of the Nigerian Army appeared before the National Human Rights Commission, the NHRC, the Chief of Army Administration, Major General Adamu Abubakar, said that the Nigerian Army, being a creation of the Constitution, is a law-abiding institution that values and respects the rights of Nigerians. Convener of the meeting and the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Professor Ben Agbaje, says that the report issued by Amnesty International has generated a lot of concerns to a lot of Nigerians, the government of Nigeria and the international community, and the Commission is determined to unearth the truth behind the report. He added that the meeting is not aimed at singling out or laying emphasis on the amnesty report, but to address issues of human rights abuses where they may exist, and also provide a platform for Amnesty International to prove the allegations against the military, in addition to giving the military an opportunity to react to the said allegations. Professor Agbaje noted that the meeting with the military high command demonstrates the fact that in a democratic Nigeria, nobody is above the law, and that the Nigerian military had at no point in time pretended to be above the law. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has dismissed the extradition suit filed by the Attorney General of the Federation against Senator Buruji Kashamu on the grounds that the court lacked jurisdiction to review the judgment of a competent court of current jurisdiction, delivering a ruling on the suit seeking to comment on extradition process against Senator Kashamu. Justice Gabriel Kolawole says that the Attorney General, while disobeying the judgment of a federal high court in Lagos, cannot institute a similar action with the same subject matter in another court in Abuja. Justice Kolawole added that the applicant failed to present any evidence before the court to show that the order of Justice Abangan Buba delivered in Lagos have been appealed against or set aside to warrant the institution of a similar suit before another court of equal jurisdiction. While the judge further adds that the extradition suit was instituted in clear violation and flagrant disobedience of a valid court judgment.
Well, the implication of the judgment is that the application for the extradition has been dismissed because it constituted a gross abuse of the court process. And to ensure sanctity of the judicial system, the court exercises power to abide by the 2 orders from the Lagos divisions of the Federal High Court. That's the only way we can ensure peace and avoid anarchy in the democratic system. I think this is best for us, it's best for Nigerians. And the law still remains the last hope of both the rich and the poor. I think that's the grand lump and the summary of this decision.
A former Minister of Aviation, Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode, has been discharged and acquitted of the money laundering charges against him. While delivering her judgment, Justice Rita Ophelia Jumogobia of a federal high court said that the prosecution's case was feeble and lacked strength to convict the accused person. She added that although she agrees that money was paid to the accused person, the prosecution failed to prove that the money was paid by cash, which is against the Money Laundering Act. The court has fixed July the 1st for judgment following the absence of the lead prosecuting counsel, Mr. Festus Keyamo. Mr. Fani-Kayode was facing a 40-count charge of laundering about 100 million naira alleged to have been committed while he served first as Minister of Culture and Tourism and then as Aviation Minister. The charges were, however, subsequently reduced to 2 after 38 were dismissed for lack of proof.
The last 7 years, I've been subjected to the most malicious, vicious, sinister, well-orchestrated, insidious and devastating form of political persecution and wickedness. The whole process almost destroyed my life, my family, my reputation, my health and my career. I thank God for His goodness, His mercy, and for the fact that today the whole nightmare has finally come to an end. Initially, I was accused of stealing 19.5 billion naira of public funds when I was Minister of Aviation. It was thrown out by the courts. Then I was accused of stealing 6.5 billion naira. It was thrown out by the courts. Then I was accused of laundering 200 million naira. It was thrown out by the courts. Then I was accused of laundering 99 million naira. It was thrown out by the courts. Finally, I was accused of laundering 1 million naira and 1.1 million naira respectively. And today, both of these charges have also been thrown out by the courts. I give thanks to God for today's verdict. It is the doing of the Lord, and it is marvelous in our sight.
The election petition, that will be the election tribunal, sitting in Lagos today, struck out the petition of Mr. Jimmy Agbaje, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, against the All Progressives Congress candidate and Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Ambode. The chairman of the three-man panel, Justice Mohammed Serajo, ruled on the case after Mr. Ambode's lawyer, Mr. Wole Olanipekun, prayed the tribunal to strike out the petition for being incompetent. However, Mr. Agbaje's lawyer, Clement Onwenwuno, had argued otherwise, but it appears that the arguments didn't stand. Mr. Agbaje, the PDP candidate in the April 11 governorship elections in Lagos, had alleged irregularities during the election, which, according to his petition, breached the provisions of the Independent Electoral Commission's approved guidelines for the polls. Mr. Ambode defeated the PDP's Jimmy Agbaje with a margin of 152,206 votes after polling a total of 811,994 votes to beat Agbaje, who had 659,788 votes to eventually emerge Lagos governor. In the meantime, the judgment of the tribunal didn't go down well with the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State, as the party has vowed not to only appeal the case, but also pursue it vigorously. A few hours after the petition was struck out, the party says that the verdict of the three-man tribunal is a miscarriage of justice and a monumental drawback in the dispensation of justice. The party also says that it will seek redress by first filing a report about the proceedings of the petition and outcome with the National Judicial Council, the NJC, for necessary disciplinary actions. In a statement released by its publicity secretary, Mr. Gani Taufik, the Lagos PDP says, quote, "We are very jolted and embarrassed that our petition can die prematurely without it being heard on the merit. We think there is a miscarriage of justice here. We are interested in the motive and the motivators." End of quote. And still ahead on the news at 10, bank customers applaud the extension of the BVN deadline by the CBN. That's on Business News. Join us again.